Your net worth just passed $10 million. No party, no announcement, no one knows. And the strangest part? You're sitting in a grocery store parking lot eating a $6 sandwich. Not because you have to, because you want to, because this is Tuesday. And Tuesday doesn't care what's in your account. You're 22 years old. Your first real paycheck after taxes is $1,847. You stare at it for a moment, not because it's a lot, because it's the first time the number is yours. That Friday, everyone from work goes out, a bar downtown, $20 cocktails, someone orders a round for the table. You go. You have 2 drinks. You laugh at the right moments. You stay until 11. Then you go home and open your laptop. You move $200 into an index fund. Automatic transfer, scheduled for the day after every payday, before the weekend can spend it, before you can talk yourself out of it. You close the laptop and go to sleep. Nobody saw that. Nobody knows. Your roommate asks why you never upgrade your phone. You say yours still works fine. That's true. But the fuller truth is that a new phone is $400, and $400 is 2 months of contributions you're not willing to trade for a better camera. You shrug and put the old phone back in your pocket. 8 months in, you do something stupid. A coworker named Brett won't stop talking about a tech stock. He shows you the chart on his phone 3 times in 1 week. You know better. You do it anyway. $3,000. Money you'd been stacking since month 1. 6 weeks later, it's worth $1,800. You sell. Not because you have a strategy, because watching it drop every morning before work is making you sick. You lose $1,200 in 6 weeks. You sit with that number for a while. $1,200 was 6 months of transfers. Gone. Because some guy showed you a chart on his phone and you forgot what you were doing. You don't tell anyone. Not because you're ashamed. Because explaining it means explaining everything else. And you're not ready for that conversation. You just go back to the $200. Same transfer, same day, same fund. Like it never happened. Except it did. And you don't forget it. The market drops 4 months later. Nothing to do with Brett's stock. Just the market doing what markets do. Your index fund falls 11% over 5 weeks. This time, you don't feel like selling. Because you already know what selling feels like. You know the specific feeling of watching something recover without you in it. So you transfer the $200 on schedule. Then you close the app. At the end of year 1, your account holds around $2,400 in contributions. The Brett mistake cost you time. No direction. You're still going the same way, just slower than you would have been. That's the thing about early mistakes. They hurt in the moment, but if they teach you what they're supposed to teach you, they're the cheapest thing you'll ever pay for. Your college friends are doing what 22-year-olds do. Living, spending, figuring it out. You're doing that too. You went to the bar, you took the trip, you bought the jacket, you just did all of it inside a structure that kept the $200 untouched. Because the $200 was never up for debate. Not a sacrifice. A decision made once, then automated, so you never have to make it again. You don't talk about any of this. Not because you think you're better than anyone. Because the plan only works if you keep it away from noise. And opinions about money you didn't ask for. That's just noise. You're not hiding money. You're protecting the plan from people who don't have one. You're 26 years old, 2 raises since that first paycheck, nothing dramatic, 3%, 5%. But you didn't touch the lifestyle. Same apartment, same car, same grocery store, every raise went into the account. Not all of it, but most of it. 4 years of most of it become something you didn't fully expect. $312,000. You check it on a Tuesday morning before work. You close the app. You make coffee. You go in. Your manager calls you into his office at 10. His name is Colin. Colin is the kind of manager who mistakes urgency for leadership. He leans forward, tells you Q3 is behind, tells you the team needs to push harder, tells you he needs you specifically to step up. His voice has that pressure in it, the kind designed to make you feel like something is at stake. 4 years ago it would have worked. You would have gone home stressed, eaten something bad, stayed up too late thinking about it. Today you just listen. You nod at the right moments. You say you understand and you'll take a look. You walk back to your desk. Something is different. Not in the room. In you. $300,000 doesn't buy a house, doesn't buy a car, doesn't buy anything you can hold. What it buys is this. If you walked out today and never came back, the account keeps you alive for roughly 2 years without touching what's underneath. Not comfortable. Not lavish, survivable. And survivable is everything when you're sitting across from a Colin. Because survivable means his urgency is not your emergency. You don't quit, you're not ready. The account needs more time. But the option existing changes how you sit in that chair. There's a word for this that most people your age don't have yet. Optionality. It doesn't mean you leave. It means you could. And that could, quiet, invisible, walk into every meeting with you from here. Colin doesn't know he lost a certain kind of power over you before you even walked in that morning. He'll never know. Your friends are doing the math differently now. Some are buying first homes, down payments scraped together over 3 years. Some are still carrying student loans that feel permanent. Some are doing well. Better jobs, nicer apartments, more stress about it than they expected. Someone in the group chat asks if you're thinking about buying a place. You say you're still figuring it out. That's not untrue. The fuller truth is, you've been running the numbers on real estate versus staying in the market for 6 months and haven't landed anywhere satisfying yet. You don't say that, because that opens a conversation that turns into advice you didn't ask for. Dating at 26, with $300,000 nobody knows about, is a specific kind of weird. You go on dates, normal dates, coffee, dinner, a walk somewhere. The person across from you is figuring out if they like you, your job, your energy, whether you make them laugh, not your account, because they don't know about your account. And something about that is actually useful. You start to see quickly who's interested in you, not the idea of you. Not what you might become. Just you. The version that drives an 8-year-old car and lives in an apartment with a couch that took 3 weeks to pick out and still isn't quite right. That filter, the invisible one, turns out to be one of the most useful things you never planned for. You max out your Roth IRA for the first time this year. $7,000. Tax-free, every year from here. You increase your 401k to capture the full employer match. You don't think of this as discipline anymore. You think of it as paying yourself before the month can spend it. The account crosses $300,000 on a Wednesday. No notification, no alert. The number just changes and you happen to look. You sit with it for about 30 seconds. Then you put the phone down and finish your lunch. The person across the table is talking about something that happened in a meeting. You listen. You laugh at the right part. From the outside, it looks like someone is finishing their lunch. Nothing else. The most powerful thing money buys isn't a product. It's the ability to walk away, even when you choose to stay. You're 30 years old. The number crossed on a Monday morning. $1,042,000. You were on the subway when you checked. Someone next to you was eating a breakfast sandwich. Someone across from you was asleep standing up. You looked at the number. You put the phone in your pocket. You got off at your stop. You thought you'd feel different. Everyone who talks about the first million makes it sound like a door opening, like something shifts, like you arrive somewhere new. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like a Monday. And that's the first thing nobody tells you about crossing a number you spent years building toward. The number changes. You don't. Thanksgiving at your parents' house. Your car is the oldest one in the driveway, 9 years old, 112,000 miles. A small dent on the rear bumper you never got fixed because it genuinely didn't seem worth it. Your uncle is talking about a real estate deal he's been watching. He explains cap rates as you've never heard the term. He draws something on a napkin. You listen. You ask one question, a specific one about the debt load on the property he's describing. He pauses, looks at you slightly differently, then keeps going. Your mom pulls you aside after dinner. She asks if you're doing okay. Not financially, just okay. She's noticed you haven't upgraded anything in years. Same apartment, same car. She worries you're struggling and too proud to say something. You tell her you're fine. She looks at you the way moms do when they believe you, but not completely. You almost tell her, you get very close, and then you don't. Not because you don't trust her, because the second you tell her, the conversation changes forever. Every family dinner gets a new subtext. Every cousin's money problem becomes a question directed at you. Every holiday carries something it doesn't carry right now. You love your family. You protect the silence because you love your family. The loneliness at 30 is quieter than you expected. Nobody is cruel to you. Nobody excludes you. Same dinners, same birthday parties, same group chats, but the conversations have started happening at a slight remove. Your friends are stressed about things you navigated 3 years ago. Not because you're smarter, because you started earlier and didn't stop. And you can't say that. So you listen. You pass along the job contact. You share the article. You show up when things get hard. But you can't close the gap completely, because it's not personal. It's just two different relationships with time. And that gap doesn't care how much you like each other. You leave Colin's company at 28, new job, better role, 30% more. You negotiate in a way you couldn't have at 22. Not because you're more confident in some abstract way, because you know your number. The specific floor below which you won't go. That clarity changes every negotiation from this point forward. You get what you asked for. Something starts happening in the account that takes a second to understand. In the last year, your portfolio returned more than you contributed from your salary. Not from picking the right stock. Not from timing anything. From time. From the $200 at 22 that became $300, that became automated and untouched through corrections, and one moment in year 4 where you almost moved everything to cash and didn't. The account is starting to move faster than you are. That's the thing about compounding. Nobody explains, right? It doesn't feel like speed. It feels like the numbers quietly stop making sense, in the best possible way. You have dinner with a friend from college. Her name is Viv. Smart job, good energy, happy in a way that reads as real. She asks how things are going. You say good. Busy. You like the new role. She asks if you're seeing anyone. You talk about that for a while. The dinner lasts 2 hours. Money comes up once. She mentions her student loans are almost paid off. You congratulate her. You mean it. She has no idea about the person sitting across from her, and the dinner is better for it. More like two people who actually know each other. You drive home in the 9-year-old car. The dent still on the bumper. You didn't get rich to prove something. You got rich to stop having to. You're 35 years old. You sold a small business you'd been building on the side for 6 years. Not a startup, not a tech unicorn, just a thing you built quietly on weekends and evenings that turned into something real. The wire transfer confirmation arrives on a Wednesday afternoon. $1.4 million after taxes. You read it twice. You forward it to your accountant. You order takeout. That night, your friends come over. 6 people. Pizza. Someone brings beer. They're talking about a show you haven't watched. Someone's landlord is raising rent again. Someone else just got a promotion and is deciding whether to take it. You sit on your couch. You laugh at the right moments. You get up to grab more napkins when someone needs them. Nobody knows that earlier today you received more money than most people in this room will earn in the next decade combined. The pizza is good. The company is good. You stay until midnight. Here's what that night actually teaches you. Not about money. About connection. Those 6 people came over because they like you. The version that grabs napkins and doesn't make everything about himself. If they knew about the wire transfer, something small would shift. Not everything. Just something. Some would be genuinely happy for you. Some would feel something more complicated. They'd never say out loud. All of them would look at you slightly differently from that point forward. And you would feel that looking. Every time. For the rest of every dinner. So you say nothing. You throw away the pizza boxes. You go to bed. 3 weeks later, your phone rings at 9 on a Tuesday night. Theo. Your closest friend since your sophomore year of college. He doesn't call this late unless something is wrong. You answer. His voice is steady, but you know him well enough to hear what's underneath it. He lost his job 5 weeks ago. Didn't tell anyone because he thought he'd have something new by now. He doesn't. His wife just started maternity leave. Their savings will last about 90 days. He's not asking for anything, he's just telling you. because he needed to tell someone. And you're the person he calls. You sit with the phone against your ear, you already know what you could do. What Theo needs to get through 6 months, just stabilize, just stop the clock. You could handle with one transfer. It would not change your life. It would change him completely. And here's where it gets honest, because this is the part that quiet wealth content always skips. The clean version. You transfer the money, Theo is saved, the friendship gets deeper, everyone wins. The real version is messier. The second you transfer that money, Theo knows, not everything, but enough. Enough to understand that the person he's been splitting bar tabs with and texting memes to at midnight, that guy has been living in a completely different financial reality this whole time. Theo is a good person. He won't resent you. But something shifts. The easy back and forth of two people on equal footing gets a new weight neither of you asked for. He feels it. You feel him feeling it. Neither of you says anything. Because that's what happens when a gap that grew slowly becomes visible all at once. You don't make the transfer. Not because you won't help. Because you know there are ways to help that don't cost the friendship what blowing your cover would cost it. You make 3 calls the next morning. A former colleague who runs a team in Theo's field. A recruiter you've stayed in touch with for years. A contact at a company that's been quietly expanding. You don't explain how you know these people or why they pick up fast. You just make the introductions. 6 weeks later, Theo has 2 offers. He calls when he gets the second one. He's almost laughing. He says he doesn't know how you did that. You say you just knew some people. He says he owes you. You say he doesn't. The friendship stays level. Nobody had to recalibrate anything. Theo still sends memes at midnight. You still reply. But you sit with the other version too. The one where you just make the transfer. The one where you stop calculating and help your friend in the fastest way possible. You sit with it honestly, and you're not completely sure you made the right call. That uncertainty matters, because anyone who tells you quiet wealth has no cost is selling you something. The cost is real. It just doesn't show up anywhere you can point to. Here's what this actually teaches you. Real wealth is not the transfer. Real wealth is the network that formed because you showed up as a person for 15 years. The calls that get returned because of who you are. Not what you have. That's the thing you built alongside the account. Turns out it's just as valuable. Sometimes more. The hardest thing about invisible wealth isn't hiding the money. It's deciding when the relationship matters more than the secret. You're 40 years old. You wake up at 6:47, not an alarm. Just when your body wakes up now. You make coffee in the same kitchen you've had for 4 years. The apartment is nice, but not remarkable. Someone visiting for the first time would say comfortable. They wouldn't say anything else. You check the account. Not from anxiety, from habit. 10 million and change. You close the app. You drink your coffee by the window. A Tuesday morning in a city that doesn't know your name. Here's what $10 million actually feels like. Not what people imagine. What it actually feels like. The coffee is the same temperature. The traffic outside makes the same noise. Your body still needs the same things it needed at 22. Sleep, food, people you actually like. Money at this level doesn't change what you need. It changes what you never have to think about again. That's a different thing. You pull into the parking garage at work. Your coworker Ray parks next to you. He drives a leased BMW 3 Series. $640 a month. You know this because he mentioned it once with a specific mix of pride and stress you recognized immediately. You smiled and said, "It looked great." It does look great. Ray invites you to lunch. The place he picks has $40 entrees. Good wine list. The kind of restaurant where the lighting is part of the price. He orders confidently. You order what looks good. The check comes, you split it evenly. Ray does the quick mental math people do when they split a check and feel it. You don't feel it. Not because you're careless, because $40 stopped being a decision somewhere around age 31. You sign your half and ask if he wants to walk back or grab coffee. He says coffee sounds good. You walk back in the sun. He talks about a client who's been difficult. You listen. You give him the one thing that actually matters for the situation. He says that's exactly right. You probably won't remember this conversation tomorrow. He probably will. Your father needs a procedure. Good hospital, good surgeon. The gap after insurance is $11,000. You pay it the same afternoon you find out. You don't present it as generosity. You don't make it a moment. You just handle it. Your father tries to talk about paying you back. You tell him not to be ridiculous. He looks at you a beat longer than usual. Something moves behind his eyes. He doesn't ask anything. You don't explain anything. The subject changes. But you both know something shifted in that silence. Neither of you needs to say what it was. You go on a date Thursday evening. Her name is Claire. Mutual friends. Good timing. She's sharp. Funny in a way that catches you off guard twice during dinner. She asks what you do. You give the honest but incomplete answer you've been giving for 15 years. Investing. Portfolio stuff. Pretty boring to explain. She says that sounds more interesting than you're making it sound. You say most people find it less interesting than they expect once you get into it. She laughs. You order dessert. The check comes. You take it without the small back and forth that happens on first dates. She notices. Doesn't say anything, but notices. Later that night, she texts her friend. She says he was weirdly relaxed, like nothing was riding on it. Her friend asks if that's a good thing. She says she thinks so. She's not sure why yet. You get home at 11. You make tea. You sit in the chair by the window. You think about the dinner. You think about your father. You think about Theo, who's doing well now. 2 kids. Good job. Texts you something stupid every few weeks like nothing ever happened. Like nothing ever happened. That's the thing about doing it right. The people stay themselves. You stay the version of yourself they actually know. And the number, the one nobody knows, just keeps growing in the background. Quietly. The way it always has. $10 million. And the most valuable thing it bought you is not on any list. Not a house, not a car, not a watch. It's this. An ordinary chair, an ordinary apartment, ordinary tea at 11 on a Thursday night. Nobody is waiting for you to be something. Nobody watching, nobody knowing. The moment people know your number, they stop seeing you. Somewhere right now, a 22-year-old is staring at his first real paycheck. $1,847 after taxes. He's thinking about Friday night. He's thinking about the bar downtown. He's thinking about a lot of things. He's not thinking about what happens if he moves $200 somewhere quiet. Tonight, before the weekend, before he can talk himself out of it. He doesn't know yet that the secret isn't the money. The secret is the silence around it. The ordinary life is built deliberately around a number nobody sees. Same coffee, same parking lot, same Tuesday. The only difference is the number. And that's exactly how you want it.